I figured I would do a video on what my bedroom looks like as a reenactor just on any given day. No special treatment. However, I can't actually start in the bedroom because my dresser is downstairs. This is my roommate's bedroom. Anyway, show that. So of course I would start at the kitchen. Or I might go to the laundry room. For example, I hang my laundry in here. Our washer's back there. There I hang laundry. I might have to fill the oil lamps. So we have oil. Obviously we have lanterns galore. Chair I have to repair. Then we go upstairs. First, we have a lovely view of some original 1850s wallpaper on this exposed wall. There was never a staircase here originally. This is modern. There was just a ladder originally. But anyway, we go upstairs. Some of these pictures are for sale. Some of them, like this one, I just really like and keep. But we have all these wonderful views. There's some 1850s wood. Mirrors I got out of the trash. You can tell this one stays because this one's still covered in drywall dust from when we were drywalling recently. Through there will be another bedroom once we're finished drywalling. This is my closet currently at the top of the stairs. Like, here's one of my favorite vintage suits. Obviously, here's a bunch of shirts, some vests, stuff like that. Ties. But then we enter my room to reflect light since the window is kind of small and blocked. I have these vintage mirrors. This one's dated from, I think, 1926 on the back. It was another mirror I got out of the trash, 3 panels, but was broken. This one was originally a picture frame. It would have had leaves here in the corners, but somebody turned it into a mirror. This 1920s cement bag that I kind of use as a random catch-all, but for years I've stored this in there. It's in plastic. So, yeah. But you can't really see. So that's my room. I collect religious artifacts, so back there, the first thing you see over the window representing the light of the world, of course, is a crucifixion display. So I did some, I guess, calligraphy, or passage related to that, spear that pierced Jesus' side, original Roman iron nails that pierced his wrists, and whatever that's called. Because it's not technically the feet and hands. That would break bones. It said no bones were broken, and surviving examples of crucifixion show where they actually go. Here we have the Roman flagrum. It would have been longer. I made a short version because this is something I made. Because, he was scourged. Crown of thorns. The coin of Pontius Pilate, under whom he was crucified. A reclaimed pine beam, because most likely the transom, the cross piece that Jesus had to carry to the tree or post, would have been a reclaimed pine beam of Jerusalem pine from a Roman building project. Anyway, we have a few other things too, like tsitsi and stuff like that. That fell, that's why it's like that. I carved this, the sign over the cross. I added this little religious element just to make it clear to people what it is. It has a chi row now. And of course I also collect fossils, just stuff like that. So it's a really eclectic collection, but I know it's not really the point of this video, because the point is to show what my bedroom looks like. So over there we have my Ogie. You can see the pendulum swinging. We have Gone with the Wind style oil lamp. I call them ball lamps because that's basically what they are. Gone with the Wind is just where we got this inspired romantic notion of what they are. So they're all electrified currently. All I have to do is either take off the plug or take off the socket, and they'll go right back to being oil. There's no damage to them. That flickering effect is not accurate to the lamp. It would actually be more like this one over here, just rather, I don't know, it wouldn't be pulsating. These flame bulbs are not accurate, but it is relaxing. So I do have a couple going. Though this one's quite simplistic and small, I really like this very pastoral scene, especially through this portal. It's kind of shaped like a brain. We have a Christmas decoration out. This star from the outside would be facing east, so the star in the east going again with a religious theme. This lamp is actually one of my favorite ones, because the information I could find is that they did the green shade in the 1860s till 1871. I know it looks probably blue in this light, but the shade is beautiful cased glass, white inside, green outside. And it's a real student lamp. Obviously, we know from the tag they didn't make any reproductions of that, but the fact that the oil font comes out, I have it filled with rice to give it some balance. Yeah, tells you it's a real one. It's also nicely adjustable. Here's a little fan. Let's see, he goes this way. I'm not using it right now, but that's a bear. It's a polar cub. They stopped using the little baby bear on it in 1921, so that's an Edwardian fan. Now you might be noticing I like bears. Here's an old ink thing. My pen sits in this log full of ink. I made the pen. I made a few pens. Speaking of pens, I don't know if you guys can see me very well, but in my vest, I carry a pen. It lives here when I don't need it. It's my fountain pen. Yeah, I use them. Got a little bear there. He's not old, but I like him. Try to match the greenish teals with the greenish teals. Believe it or not, these are from like at the turn of the century. These incredible flower pots. I use all this stuff. Here's a paperweight. World War I era with the blue morpho butterfly wing inside of it. My little stabber, probably from the 20s. My ink blotter, you can tell, gets used because I do write letters. In fact, you've probably been wondering about this typewriter. It's sitting here. It's normally actually down there, where my laptop in this antique 1920s case is, my garbage can, and my spittoon. Because, yeah, I have to use a spittoon. But anyway, I do use a typewriter for longer letters when I don't feel like writing either on my antique paper or my modern paper. Even got this 1920s box to hold paper and stamps and whatnot. Envelope. This is actually my grocery list. This turn of the century grocery thing. I just put modern paper in and there you go. Literal notebook, probably from the 20s. I put modern paper in it because it was full. And then my address book, also in the 20s, which I don't really want to show everybody the addresses and stuff, but yeah. Old pens, old pencils. I had a whole bunch of these nibs, so I just made a whole bunch of dip pens. But yeah, some of these are old, this one's modern, but the rest are old. The pencil pulls out. But yeah, I use a typewriter. It's a 1939 to 1941, I think, model of the Royal Magic Margin, so it automatically sets my margins for me, saving me a little bit of time. However, it needs a new ribbon right now. So my letter that I've been trying to write to somebody is not going too well. Also, it sucked in my plant last night, night before, whenever. So, like on the bottom of the page, as in the back side of the page, because I use both sides of the page. So right at the bottom, it sucks in the plant. I don't know that, and it makes this big brown streak across the page. I'm like, ah! But it is what it is. Here we have my 1920s headphones. You can see there's a lot of 20s themes in here. I put on these modern rubber cups just to make them softer, but I use them with, say, don't laugh, my John Deere portable CD player or my cassette tape player, which is elsewhere right now, my portable one. Speaking of portability, there's a lap desk that I made. So I actually do use this. I wrote several Christmas cards and letters and stuff. I even use a wax sealer that I made, which also can contain ink in this little reservoir. It's supposed to be in here, but I was busy when I was putting it away. These are interchangeable and stuff. It's all very nice and fun and useful, blah, blah, blah. I use this mostly for Civil War reenactments. Come on, close. Oh, that's because it's not closing all the way. Anyway, there we store my Bible. Again, from the 20s. I put the cross on there, but this is a Bible that I use regularly. It's my study Bible. Random page from yet another Bible that somebody else put in there at some point, and I just kind of left as a bookmark. Usually inks actually sit up top on this desk, which I did make. I've never finished it. There should be actually a drawer here. And then this needs some veneer. This all is getting veneer to have little secret doors as I store like some of my ink in there. But yeah, it's a fun, useful piece, and you can't see much down there. I'm working on this antique camera right now. I'm wanting to make it modern. Underneath this rayon coverlet is actually my boombox, which I use mostly just to go to sleep with for music. Saw that already. Here's some mid-1800s, just china that I use. So, cheers. Again with the 20s. The shade is not original. The shade's mid-century. The lamp itself is 20s. Actually, it could be teens, too. It is a pretty early electric lamp. I put in those old-fashioned style bulbs. My phonograph, I have, this one is my portable, then I have a full upright model upstairs. This one, or downstairs, sorry, this one's super loud. Finally, the 20s, an Atkinson Fox print. Turn of the century trunk, I just love this mottled look. Over my TV, it's not hanging properly. It's a little bit low right now, obviously, but this is actually some sort of book of pictures. Oh, and I just dropped it lower. From a movie from, I think, 1921, if I remember. There's a video on it you can look at. So I just kind of put that over my television, which I very seldom use, just because I could. This is a very special type of print. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it's from the 20s. More religious themes. Lots and lots of religious themes. Here we have the 1880s. 1881 is the copyright on it. Some knickknacks. Some of these dried flowers are like 15 years old now. I collected some of these as a kid, including that guinea hen feather. As you can see, I like dried plants. You'll actually see more in my room than just this. However, here we have my library. There's actually a whole lot more books than this. Some of them are inside the wall, in the knee wall, in storage. These are just some I keep on display with some of these like ethnographic artifacts and stuff. And some of the fossils. Most of the fossils I've collected myself from the wild. Here we have an antique postcard box from the 1910s, which I do have. This piece of glass to protect stuff. Just antique mail and antique postcards in. This one's funny. Just random things. It's been on display for years and years. Some of these postcards are nice, some of them aren't. It's really just a random selection, just so people could see what was available. I did not collect this one myself. Obviously, that trilobite is a bit nicer than what I can do at home. Ancient pottery, medieval spearhead, both from Africa. I dug up this coin, this 1869 Indian head penny. Now you guys can't see. Dug up that lighter. Here's some mid-1800s bottles. I wish my camera could focus better. The lens is quite scratched. So basically all of those are paneled. That's not mid-1800s, it's just a random one I threw in there to keep it safe. It's a little pill container from the 1870s. Some more fossils, some more minerals. This is a piece of Victorian wallpaper from the back of that picture. They fall off. Sometimes I just find random like phonograph needles or random wallpaper scraps and stuff on the ground. It just makes me feel, it just gives me a real kick. It's just so novel to think, oh, I'm reliving the same problems that people back then would have had too. So that's a bowl from about the 600s. It's an incantation bowl. This is a lime container from a Sepik River tribe in Papua New Guinea. There's going to be a couple books on top of here right now, I think. This is actually my first antique book, like really antique. It's a collection of Appleton's journals from I think 1871. You know, I've had this thing for years, and I actually restore books, but I've never restored this one, and I don't know why. So sometimes I read these, so you will see just random pieces of paper towel throughout where I stopped on a certain magazine. I really shouldn't be flipping it like this or expanding these pages open this far, especially in its current condition, but there. What a surprise. Just one of those things. One of those really nifty things. Hang on a second. I don't want to just slide it, because then you'll damage the whatchamacallit, the boards. Oops, we don't want to zoom out. We want to go right back to where we were. This is what's known as a photochrome. It's an early color photography process. I collect them. I also collect these hand-tinted photographs. All very typical of the early 1900s, late 1800s. This one's turn of the century. I actually have used the lamp as a sort of inhaler, but currently it's just holding flower petals. Because why not? I'm a colorful guy. In fact, as inspiration, I like to use these guys, who somebody drew mustaches and goatees on to be funny. This is all supposed to get covered up eventually. This is just insulation board where we shrunk the window when we sided the house. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be able to put decoration out. But, like, I also use my bedpost to store things like my necklace, my lighter colored cane, my bowler cap, another cane, the one I actually use the most, and whenever I'm actually limping, because I do wear antique shoes, yeah, I use that. Beautiful Victorian bed frame. Some chromolithographs. That is an access to the storage behind there. You can kind of see in the corner and stuff where the blue color of this room used to be, because when I moved in here, it was this horrible blue. It might be nice on like a house, but not inside a small room like this. Now, I always do a working class impression. That's my inspiration. In fact, let me just turn out this light so you guys can see me better. And you'll see that I am not really dressed all that fine. I am actually dressed in Edwardian trousers. In fact, my suspenders are original too. Don't know how old the shirt is. It's some kind of a reproduction, but I think it's an older reproduction. Modern vest, antique pocket watch, of course. Wasn't using it today, I just threw this on. I'm mostly just getting ready for Christmas. But pocket watch, for example, beautiful piece to me. And while it should live in my trinket tray, I kind of just set it down there. This faux marquetry is just beautiful in this Louis de like 14th style. Dutch windmills, very common in the early 1900s. That really dates the lamp specifically. A bowl, Nippon, probably teens. Yep, boys and their toys. And then more ethnographic artifacts, and then a 1811 musket. Thermometers moderns from like the 50s, 60s. My CD collection, a photochrome, my dog, my alternate character in a Victorian frame, another photochrome, ancient textile, another J. Atkinson box print. That's actually back there is my Genesis 3 through I think 7 on a Torah portion scroll. There I am. But you've seen me at the Civil War reenactments for sure. Brass-bladed fan that I still use. Photo album that needs some work. More dead flowers, because why not? Fake flowers. But matches that I use. Tiger oil for pain. It's empty currently because I ran out. Because I get really stiff fingers and wrists in the winter. Various medicines that I use. Like here's an allergy medicine. Yep, I do use that. And I do use this beautiful linen towel. Because sometimes you gotta wash your hands. Such as when you use the chamber pot. Because yes, I do use a chamber pot. It should be living in here. It's a beautiful Victorian. I gilded it. I painted all this stuff and stuff. Beautiful Victorian washstand. But yeah, these bottles are full. Well, it's mostly empty. I don't smoke, but I kept this 1920s tobacco in here. My cologne. This has manganese in it, so it's turning purple. That indicates that it's over 100 years old. Antique jewelry box. A lot of miscellaneous stuff. This is actually for a clasp for robes in the medieval era. Something I do actually use. My robe is currently in use, though, blocking cold air from coming through the knee wall. Now watch, something instead of living on the table should live in here. This is actually a pedometer. So this counts my steps. And yes, it does work. I know that spot doesn't look too good, but it works. Here we have my collar and cuff studs. What a surprise, a bear. Belt buckle. Ring, representing the Lion of Judah. Change purse. Sometimes I keep stuff in it like this for props. It's worn out, so it's not really worth anything. Inside my washstand, you will find things like different collars for when I wear a collared shirt, a nice shirt, or different props, like when I shot Abe Lincoln with this Model 1860. It's just a plastic prop, but he wasn't too amused. I went up to him at the Civil War reenactment and just went bang. And he was not happy. He was actually really mean about it. Would not recommend that Abe Lincoln. I sew on original bone buttons onto everything. Actually, looks like oh, that's not a loose thread. That's a thread from there. Okay, so I actually wear antique buttons and stuff. I have several pairs of antique glasses. This is a damaged pair. I just let tourists play with at the Civil War reenactments. But I have more in these sort of antique cases. So here's my Civil War pair that I wear. In an original case from the 1860s. I made this to hold my pocket watch for when I wear a belt. There with my antique spyglass. My World War II theater knife. One of my combs. My main comb is actually downstairs and it is vintage. This one's not, sadly. Then you get all these random things in here. Like this piece of a telephone. Or this random lead soldier. Or just random antiques, thankfully in plastic to keep them safe. More ancient pottery. More ethnographic artifacts. This is where the heat actually comes in. When it was heated, I took the heating duct out because it clicks and I couldn't stand it. My alarm clock does work. It's not in use currently because I only use it when I need an alarm to get up. It's from the 20s, what a surprise. Sears catalog, also from the 20s. I change out catalogs and magazines on top of here all the time. So about once a month. I love these numbers and stuff that they use on a lot of the pages. They actually remind me of the 1970s. Or should I say this 1970s are riffing on the 20s. Let's see if we can find some more. There we go. I mean, doesn't that look so just 1970s? That's what I would have thought being a modern person, but no. 1920s. What a surprise. Fashion catalog for $18.99. A lot of home goods in here, but to me the most exciting part would be the fact that somebody sadly used the old type of tape on here, which literally eats the paper. I don't remember what page the men and boys are on, but they're in here some. There we go. This is boys section. It's just exciting to me to see male fashion of the era. That can be a future video, though. Spittoon. Yep. 1880s gaudy Welsh wash basin gets used when I'm... Actually, I can just use these mirrors. When I'm not wearing my... I can give this to focus. My string tie and stuff. That lives there next to this general purpose work collar and this cheater's bow tie. Something that just came in a set a long time ago. Crucifix I made a little bit more accurate. I know it's hard to tell, but he's covered in stripes and blood. Because, yeah, I think I have a little bit of a problem with that. As in, I make everything a little bit too bloody, but it's more accurate. My Perfection oil heater, which I keep my socks on top of to warm up before I go to bed. Because, like I said, it's not actually heated up here. My rocking chair, probably 1870s, 1880s, original upholstery. Very coarse. I do enjoy using it, though. It rocks very nicely, and it's not loud. It's not one that moves, either. Sometimes rocking chairs, as you're rocking, literally start turning. These are rayon rugs, these two. This one, which needs vacuum, as you can probably tell, it's been a couple weeks. Nothing lives up here other than me, so. This is, I don't know, I really can't tell how old it is. Could be 30s, could be 50s. This was my first antique trunk. Actually, I do have to pull it away from the wall. Oh, look, another men's fashion catalog, 1916. What a surprise. Beautiful paper. This one is actually like 1870s. I keep a lot of antique pants and stuff in here, and other dress pants. So normally these will actually live in there, because I just don't want them getting damaged. This dresser was actually a lot lighter at one point. It had some water damage and stuff. I just darkened it. It's a built-in. That wall over there I actually darkened too. In fact, I darkened the trim too. I darkened everything, except for the wall color, because this is actually pale honey from Home Depot. I thought it was a very nice color. So I guess I kind of made it look a little bit British in here. This is the first trunk I ever restored, and it's a little bit beat up now because I actually use it as a travel trunk. If I'm going somewhere, I lob this in my car. I don't know what else to show you guys. This is just authentically what my room normally looks like on any given day. This is the life that I choose to lead. I mean, even the blanket's an antique. I guess I could mention that. This is a Chase Buggy blanket, probably from the 20s. Yep, everything's in the 20s. It's not perfect. It's always changing. Throughout the year, it changes. But that's my life. That's life itself. If it doesn't change, it doesn't grow, it doesn't develop, it's not really living. I kind of want to use this space for something, but it's just so narrow. Obviously, behind that is the knee wall. There's access in there to more storage. So there's a lot of stuff that does come out of storage. That trunk there is actually full of different hats and stuff. Right now it's, obviously, like I said, almost Christmas. So summer hats go in there, winter hats come out. Very little that's modern in here. And that's the way I like it.